Been there. It's horrible. It usually sucked for like a day, and then it was okay. Live for New Year's Eve. How many cups of coffee you drink a day? I'm a 1 cup Andy. In fact, on Tuesday, I had to run some errands. It was like 3 p.m. and I'm a 1 cup Andy, right? I've been a 2, 3, maybe even a 4 cup Andy at parts of my life, but I've gotten it down to a 1 cup Andy. I had a headache, and I was like, I know this headache. This headache is from not having enough caffeine. So I got an iced coffee from a coffee shop, and I said, I'm still cool. This isn't going to fuck up my sleep. I don't go to bed for like 7 hours. It fucked up my sleep. I fell asleep at like 12:30 instead of 10:30. Woke up tired the next day because I couldn't get enough sleep that night. And then had to, because then you end up in this like unstable equilibrium where now you got like less sleep, so you're tired, so your brain is like, you should have an extra coffee today. And then you got to be like, no, Satan, I'm going to beat this today. So I did. I'm happy to report I beat it on Wednesday. Probably not a big deal for many of you who beat it multiple times per day, but for me, that's like a special occasion. The evils of Lucy was all around me. Look at that. Still in the cold brew arc? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm ever going to leave the cold brew arc. I think it's just the best coffee. It tastes good. Sweetened or unsweetened. Milked or unmilked. And the best part of all, it's ready to go as soon as you're ready for it to be ready to go. You don't have to like pre-order your coffee and be like, oh, I'm going to want a coffee in 21 minutes. I better get it now. I also don't know, people, they always blame like their behavior on cold brew, which seems crazy to me. Like it's just coffee. Sometimes people will be like, oh, I'm jittery today. The cold brew's hidden. And I'm like, you just drank too much. It's not the... I've been drinking cold brew for a long time. The only times I've ever had like jitters from cold brew is when I drank too many cups, or you get like a new barista who doesn't realize that you have to water down the concentrate. Then you find yourself, you know, living in a shotgun shack. Oops. I will say, if you're like a non-caffeinated, if you're not a caffeine user, it's one of those chemical dependencies that's really not so bad. Like it doesn't fuck up your life as long as you can still get your fix. And I know you're like, that's all addiction. No, it's not. Because like drugs and alcohol, if you're addicted to them, your life is getting fucked up whether you got your fix or not. Coffee, as long as you got your fix, you're okay. You can still drive. That's not copium, man. Hang on. Ask Purdue. You drive well caffeinated? It's not copium, it's having an understanding of, not all drugs are equal in their effects, you know? Like, you could be addicted to sugar, and, no one's going to have, like, an intervention for you and be like, hey, we really got to talk about your sugar consumption. Your predisposition towards, like, eating sugar is tearing this family apart. I lost my last job because I couldn't stop, eating fucking Sour Patch Kids when I was supposed to be doing open heart surgery or something like that. But anyway, what I was going to say was, like, I'm not saying get a caffeine dependency. All I'm saying is it's a relatively mild dependency to begin with. And then the other thing I was going to say is you're in the clear because being over caffeinated is actually like the worst feeling that you will ever experience in your life. 1 cup of coffee is like the perfect amount for me. 2 cups of coffee is like nausea, headache, want to throw up, anxiety, and there's nothing you can do to make it go away except wait for it to be eliminated from your system. And it takes like half a day for it to be eliminated from your system. Like it's ruthless, man. Help me, help me. I'm trapped. Help me. There we go. Go a week without coffee and see what happens? No, like I've got shit to do. I'm not like Cosmo Kramer. Like my life's in a good balance right now. I'll just keep having 1 cup of coffee a day. Why don't you go 1 week without pissing me off? Oh, it's not possible? Looks like you're addicted to pissing me off then. Which is, according to chat, about as bad as being addicted to heroin in terms of the effects on your life. So, sucks to be you. Up house. We made it, dude. We're back. What if the whole game was just a staircase? That could be fun. I mean, like, it could be funny. People in my chat will really be like, do you know you're addicted to coffee? And then the next message, they're like, I haven't remembered a dream since 2016. Like, you think I can't read between the lines there? You all gotta choose your vices, okay? I can live with my decisions. I forgot to mention it. What a great segue. Thanks for the assist, self. I had the I'm stupid. I'm just dumb. I'm gonna live though. I had the classic anxiety nightmare last night. I'm in university. I walk into the auditorium. It's exam day, and I don't know the answers to any of the questions on the test. Now, all I remember is that it was like a test on a piece of software, like it was about a piece of software. And then the question one was like, what does this icon represent? And I knew that I was fucked. I was like, I don't even know what that icon is. And if I get this question wrong, the professor is going to be like, he didn't even boot up the software the whole semester. So I'm giving him a 0 on this whole thing. And then I remember, like, I finished that exam and was like, I fucked it bad. And then I remember being like, oh, I've got to log in to my, like, university account so I can see when my other exams are. There we go. And I was like, oh, I can't even log in because the email address that's associated like with my college has been deactivated for 12 years or something like that. And I was like, I'm fucked. And you know what I was thinking in my head, like while dreaming? I was like, my parents are going to be so disappointed in me. My parents are going to be so disappointed in me. I'm 34, man. Woke up like all fucked up and emotional. It's crazy. Yeah, I graduated from college in 2010. But it was one of those dreams that had me like wondering if I actually graduated from college. Like I woke up and I was like, "Wait a minute, didn't that happen?" Like, didn't I? Didn't I like not know what the icon was on that piece of software, and then I got like a fucking 0, and the professor called me a fraud and expelled me from the school? He knew I didn't go to a single lecture. Did you use Blackboard? They had started to use Blackboard when I was in university, for sure. I'm old, but we still submitted assignments electronically as early as like my... Well, we had some take-home tests that were on the internet in 2006. Pretty forward-thinking, right? Definitely submitted some via like Blackboard Dropbox in 2007. You could have cheated so easily. I think they just made it so you could cheat, but you would learn while you were cheating. Like we all just got together like in a dorm room and then had the smartest person run the test. And then if they got anything wrong, we just, you know, troubleshot it right there. And then everybody else ran through the test again. Class average is like a fucking 99.9. What am I thinking? It's the same mistake. I'm back. Okay, don't go over the side this time. One time to get an extension on an assignment, I submitted a JPEG, but I changed the file extension to PDF, and then the professor told me it wouldn't open, and that gave me enough time to actually finish the project. It's delightfully devilish. I definitely never did that on purpose, but I was in second year, like right in the same corridor that Windows 7 came out, maybe? Windows... That sounds right to me. That sounds right. Maybe, yeah, Windows 7. And that was like right when they introduced like the DocX format to the Office suite of applications. So there were constant fuck-ups that were like, hey, you submitted this in DocX, we need it in Doc. Or hey, you submitted this in Doc, but we need it in DocX. That happened for a while. Also, I mean, I had some near misses in university. Some of them were my fault. Like, I barely passed organic chemistry. In my defense, it was really hard. In the class's defense, I didn't really put a lot of effort into it. But a lot of people, like a third of the class, failed the organic chemistry that was required for biology, at least. So, hang on. Just go to the side. So I was in good company, but I did get like a, I don't know, I was like 2% over the passing threshold or whatever. But then also, my last class, and I'm sorry if you've heard this one before, my last exam for my last class in senior year, when I took the exam, the professor came over to me and was like, hey, just so you know, because you didn't submit the final project, like you can't pass the class. Like I can't pass you because you didn't submit the final project. And I was like, oh, I submitted the final project? Actually, like I dropped it off into your Dropbox, like your physical Dropbox. And he said, I don't think so. Like, I think I would have gotten it if that was the case. And I was like, well, I did. So, like, I don't know what you want me to say. And then I just went through. He was like, okay, I'll go check. And then I did the rest of the exam. And he came back like 2 hours later and was like, yeah, you're right. It was in my Dropbox. And I was like, cool. I appreciate that. It was like my last day of university. And you're like, hey, just so you know, you're not going to graduate. The Express Foo, huh? Like, you think if I was not going to graduate, my ass would have even showed up for the final? Oh, come on! Oh, Jesus Christ. It's a long way down. Back to the place where you... I don't even know if I can get up from here either. Because this shit does not look rendered properly. Oh! Unless... Can I just get on the train, like, over here? Well... Shit's like being on the old train in Skagway, Alaska. You're looking out the window, you're like, does the conductor know the track ended? Right before the fucking track ends, you like, they hit a switch and then you just go on the normal train track. And they're like, hey, there's where a bridge collapsed 43 years ago. And you're like, I want to get off the train. You're like, you can't. This shit is 8 hours long. Anyone here ever been on that old train in Skagway, Alaska? No? Lots of no's. Couple of yeses. Nice views, though. There was some nice view. It gets real high up there, that's for sure. My parents are going next month. How old are your parents? If your parents are middle-aged or older, I guess that makes sense. 25. If your parents are middle-aged or older, they would love the train in Skagway, Alaska. When we docked in Skagway this time, first time we docked, we took the train. This time when we docked, Kate got a massage. I took our daughter into town, bought a little stuffed animal for her for like $13, and then walked back onto the ship. I was like, I've been here before. No one here lives in Skagway. Skagway is like a fake sort of like there are real people there and there's like a couple real businesses, but like 90% of the town is a pioneer village that is trying to appeal to the cruise ship traffic, which is fine. I get like they're making a life, okay? But it's like once you've seen it once, you don't really need to run it back. Yahoo! Like PEI? Excuse me. Well, I haven't been to PEI for like 25 years. But I feel like I got nothing but respect for PEI. They got real businesses. Fishing. Being the place where they signed Confederation of Canada into existence. Lighthouses. I'm sure they probably... Oh, potatoes! I forgot about Bud the Spud from the bright red mud rolling down the highway smiling. Is Stompin' Tom. You don't know Stompin' Tom? I wish I lived in PEI and not New Brunswick. I'm not trying to... Look, I'm trying to unify the country, not tear us apart. But I do feel like Saskatchewan is like the most mocked Canadian province. But it really should be New Brunswick. Because, like, at least everyone knows something about Saskatchewan, which is that it's, like, really flat. Nobody knows shit about New Brunswick, man. I've been there. I don't know. I went to Moncton. Couldn't tell you anything. Went to Sackville. Couldn't tell you anything about it. My family got robbed in Nova Scotia. Oh, at a Keddy Inn in Truro. They stole my damn Game Boy and like all my Game Boy games. I was like 9 years old, and I still have better memories of Nova Scotia than the time that I spent in New Brunswick. Like maybe New Brunswick just has like a marketing problem. But I've been there, and I do mean on vacation, and I still don't remember anything about it. All I remember is whenever we would drive to New Brunswick with my grandparents, we would always stop in like the same hotel and eat a meal and get a slice of sugar pie, just like made with maple sugar. And they were like, New Brunswick is famous for sugar pie. And I was like, okay. And then I thought when I got older, I was like, I'm pretty sure that shit is like straight out of Quebec. No disrespect if I'm wrong, and it is a New Brunswick classic, but I feel like that's a Quebec food. I mean, I get that they're adjacent, but anyway. So I'm saying we should mock New Brunswick. I guess that's what I'm saying. Oh, every time. The other thing is, New Brunswick has to figure out what it does. This is bad. This is not so bad. Like, is New Brunswick a maritime province? The license plate has like a sailboat on it, right? Oh, you're right. We go this way. That screams maritime province to me. But then when you're in New Brunswick, they're like, we're Ontario, we're Quebec, we're Ontario, we're Quebec. And we're like, don't flatter yourself. It's like, I feel like New Brunswick can't decide whether it's a maritime or a terrestrial province. We have you surrounded. We have you surrounded. I'm New Brunswick. I'm New Brunswick. Oh, well, that was a bad time to glance as well. Okay, land me on the tracks. I've learned the error of my ways. We have to make the jump. What's a maritime province? It's any province that sells the McLobster. Dude, you know what would be sick? What if you combined like Only Up with the same exercise mechanics that they had in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? So like the more this kid ran and jumped, the stronger his running and jumping would get. So like it was self-balancing. Like if you took forever to beat the game, your kid would become like a superhero. And you could steal cars and shoot people. So true. So you want games where you grind now? Yeah, now that I'm like a Final Fantasy 16 guy, I think I want more games where you grind. I'm glancing so hard. Did you drink coffee on the cruise? I did, but here's the thing. I had to temporarily debase myself and become a warm coffee drinker. So on the first day, I got cold brew. Cold brew is a surcharge. They don't have free iced coffee. So I paid like $5 for the cold brew, and then it was like nuclear level cold brew. Like I was getting the jitters, and I said this is not what I need. So then every morning when I snuck out to the buffet before the rest of my family woke up, I debased myself. I poured a drip coffee and I let it cool down for half an hour, and then I drank it in like 3 gulps, and that was my coffee. It's the way to do it. They make they make the coffee too hot. I get that maybe like they have to make it hot to brew it, but like it's served too hot. I'm not talking just about the McDonald's case. Like it's one of the only drinks that like you get and then you don't get to drink it. Like you gotta wait. Try dry brew if you ever get in this situation again. The hell is dry brew? Is it just like a satchel full of caffeine pills? Dry brew? Just eat the grinds? I didn't have access to the grinds. Basically, yes. You eat instant coffee grinds? Grounds? I don't know why, but I just got like a mental image of someone putting like a K cup in their ass and then clenching until like it broke and then going like, mmm, the best part of waking up is Folgers in your ass. Shooby doo 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 doo. That's not even the same jingle. It doesn't matter what comes, put the cup in your ass. Just put the fucking cup in your ass. Nothing gets to you, staying fresh, staying cool. Now put the damn cup in your ass. Fresh goes better, man. Did I stutter? Please let Justin know. I don't know if Justin's around here, but I want to tell him about companis. How the word companion comes from Latin for someone I would like to eat bread with. Come, eat, panis, bread. It's so good, dude. Oh, yeah. Livy? Yeah, Livy. I would say he's my companis. Seneca the Elder. We used to be companis. I wouldn't say we companis that much anymore. Fuck, why did I say Livy? Now everyone's talking about Baby Gronk. What have I done? An ex-boyfriend's friend once confessed to doing a coffee enema. I'm just making sure I got some time here. I'm like, I really don't think the secret to good health is going to be like anything related to your colon. And I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying that like whenever people are like, oh, I give myself like a colonic once every 6 months, I'm like, I don't, you do you. It just seems to me like, I mean, I had a colonoscopy I guess it's not the same thing as an enema. I had a colonoscopy. After I got cleaned out, I was not like, oh, I want to do that again. Oh, I didn't press the space bar. I was like, I hope I never have to, well, I hope I don't have to do that again for some time. Isn't gut health super important? Aren't you begging the question? What does doing a coffee enema have to do with your gut health? You could take like a probiotic or something like that. NL is pro colon cancer? Are you listening to yourself? You're watching the wrong streamers. Just fishing for debates where they don't exist. Thank you, Mad Dog, by the way. Thank you. He used begging the question correctly. I'm telling you, I feel like begging the question is like when people say gaslighting. If you're like, oh, I don't like guns. Someone will be like, oh, really? Would you shoot Hitler if you could? That's begging the question. Well, how about we'll start having a conversation when we get like a time machine? I'm begging your question. Please, I beg you, where's your time machine? You can do the coffee enema if you want. I'm just saying I think that maybe my hunch, I'm not suggesting that this is a scientific assertion. My hunch is that the benefits of a coffee enema are psychosomatic, predominantly. Apparently that's a bold claim on the internet. I also feel like, are enemas actually good for you, or is it just something you go through because you have like a procedure of some sort that is coming up where you need no debris in your colon? Help me. Every single person is my enema. Motherfucker. You motherfucker. You motherfucker. You. That's alright. It wasn't even that far. It's not just erotic stuff. You must have to get an enema for, you know, some procedures. I mean, I think that, like, I basically gave myself an enema for a colonoscopy. It's just that we didn't stick anything in. We just took everything out. Just like a heavy dose of laxatives. I give patients enemas like once a week for x-rays. Oh, don't tell me that. Because I think what you're saying is once a week I have a patient who requires an x-ray in a location that needs a clean colon. What I'm hearing is 1 in 50 patients has so much shit in their ass they need an enema before I can get any vision. And I'm like, that's me. I know I'm in the 2% there. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to end up like spraining my ankle or something like that. They're going to get out the Erlenmeyer flask. I'm not getting a very clear image here. Could you bend over, please? Yeah. I knew you were going to say that. This is fun. It's the most relaxing part of the game right here. Would you ever get your body hair lasered off? We're back to this, huh? It's a callback. Is there like a place you can go? You know how you can have like student barbers cut your hair?
You won't make it.
And then you don't have to pay as much for the haircut? Is there like a place that they like train laser hair removal technicians where I could get like free laser hair removal. Because I just wanted the, I'll deal with the pain. I mean, I made it through that bamboo massage. But like, I just don't want to pay that much for the laser hair removal, honestly. I think it's too expensive. I don't even know how much it costs, but I want 30% off at a minimum. And I don't want to have to come back. I want it to be lasered shut forever. $1,800 for full face? I don't want my whole face lasered. I need some like delineation there. Just almost the entire rest of my body. But here's it. I feel like you can run into trouble, right? Because I'd be like, okay, what would I get lasered? I would love to have my back lasered. But if I'm going to have my back lasered, I need my shoulders and my chest and my stomach lasered too. But then, if I took my shirt off, I'd have like a completely hairless torso, but like an insanely hairy lower body. Like, you ever shave, we're adults here, we can talk about this. You ever perform like male grooming? And then you look down there and it like doesn't look right, and you realize that it's because your legs are hairy. And then you're like, well, am I really gonna shave like my whole thigh and calf? And then you're like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So you just keep going down like little by little. But it's still, there's like, I don't know how to do like a fade. So instead, it's always like you've just got like leggings of hair that start at some point. The shit is so... That, like, body hair is so annoying to deal with, man. It's so much easier to just be, like, letting it grow. But then, like, letting it grow is annoying, too, because you shed everywhere. And, you know, you got to go up a size in your shirts because the hair is, like, it takes up physical mass. Or physical space, I should say. But then if you, like, ever shave, like, any part of your body... It's like you gotta shave your entire body. Otherwise, you know, you go to the swimming pool and people would be like, why are your ankles so hairy when the rest of your body's completely lithe? Oh, what am I doing? Do you shave your back, or does Kate? I love my wife, so I would never ask her to shave my back. But I also only have like one joint in my elbows. So I can't shave my back. The best I can do is shave the parts of like the back of my neck and shoulders where like the collar of my shirt would show it. And then that's about it. You have back hair? I've had back hair since fucking probably like the last year of the Clinton administration. No, that doesn't make sense. That would be like the year 2000. I've had back hair since the first Bush administration, but closer to the end. You ever wear V-necks? Nah, man. Absolutely not. Could be the only 19-year-old kid wearing a V-neck with like a full Ron Jeremy chest hair poking out. Like, I feel like as you get older, it's a little easier to pull off the look. Because you like grown men are, it's not like that rare for them to have chest hair. I'm not going to say you're supposed to have hair because there's nothing you could do about it. You know, some people will be like, I wish I had chest. Oh, every time smash the space bar. Oh! But, you know, when you're in your 30s and you have some chest hair, I think you're like, That's roughly age appropriate. You can't be the only like 19-year-old showing up for a kegger, you know, right after the release of Soulja Boy Tell 'Em with a deep V-neck and Steve Carell's torso, right? 85% of the people at the party can't even grow a mustache, and you're showing up with like your granddad's torso. Like it's just it can't be done. Or at least I wasn't willing to do it. Okay, this time I'm not gonna mash. This time I'm not gonna mash. I think I'm just anti V-neck in general too, though. This is maybe, I don't know if I'd call it projecting, but this is my own, you know what, let's give it a shot here. This is my own judgment. I feel like if you wear a V-neck and you're jacked, you look like a narcissist. You're like, yeah, I get it. You're in good shape. Like, congrats, big whoop. If you wear a V-neck and you're not jacked, it doesn't look good. And you're like, what are you doing? Only jacked people can wear those. So it's like, for me, it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. A deep V, sure. A shallow V, listen, I'm not going to insult a shallow V. I'm not going to take neckline advice from someone who buttons his polos up all the way to the top. Brother, I'm trying to figure out the way to phrase this without making chat spam :3. I love like a tight collar. That was maybe the worst way that I could have said it. I like the feeling of the shirt being buttoned up all the way. I don't know what it says about me. It's the same. I feel the same way like about my neck that I feel about like my shirt sleeves. You know when you get a new shirt and the sleeves are tight to your biceps, and then because you bought it from Threadless, the first time that you wash it, the sleeves get all like loosey-goosey and worn out, and then it never feels as good. Thin neck vibes? Brother, I got a pretty thick neck, honestly. I think in high school gym class, I did crunches all wrong and put like 100% of the work into my neck muscles instead of my abs. Like this, it's not a long neck, but it's a thick neck. Okay, you don't jump twice. That didn't jump twice, he just slid. What's your neck size? I honestly just don't know. I had it measured when I got that suit like 2 years ago. But I don't remember what the guy said because he's just throwing a lot of numbers at me, honestly. And then asking me questions that like I didn't know the answer to. How do you like your suits cut? How do you like the taper on your suits? I was like, brother, I'm here because I don't know anything about suits. I need you to tell me what looks good on me. You have an Italian accent. Tell me what would make me look good. Oh!
You won't make it. You're a weak kid. Your friends are there.
Oh, it's like exactly Jackbox time. It's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, slash marker. Only up. Let the hand.